This video is about rational equations. If a rational formula is a formula with an x in the denominator, then a rational equation is kind of the same thing. It has an x in the denominator. The important thing is, how do we solve an equation like this? In any equation, if you have fractions, you want to remove the fractions from the equation as soon as possible. And the best way to do that is multiply with the denominators. So in this case, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation with 2x minus 1 and x plus 2. What I get is the following: 3 times 2x minus 1 times x plus 2 divided by 2x minus 1 is equal to 4 times 2x minus 1 x plus 2 divided by x plus 2. We can see that in this fraction the 2x minus 1 is both a factor in the numerator and a factor in the denominator, so I can divide them out. In this fraction, x plus 2 is a factor in both, so we can divide that out. What remains is 3 times x plus 2 divided by 1 is equal to 4 times 2x minus 1 divided by 1. And dividing by 1 is something we usually don't write down, so we're not going to do that now either. The only thing we need to do now is multiply out the brackets and solve the equation. Note that this step, where we multiplied with the denominators and then divided out the denominators which it had in common, can be skipped by using cross multiplication. Cross multiplication means that we multiply the numerator from the first fraction with the denominator for the other fraction. So 3 times x plus 2. And we multiply the numerator with the other fraction with the denominator of the first fraction, 4 times 2x minus 1. Note that we can only do this in a form that has some fraction is equal to some other fraction. If this is all you have in an equation and there's not something like plus 3 behind it or something, if I only have fraction is equal to another fraction, I can use cross multiplication, just like you would do in a ratio table. It's not unlike that. I do have to note that it is possible. If you multiply with the denominators, you create an equation that has a solution for which one of the denominators is equal to 0. So, if you solve a rational equation, at the end you have to check if the denominators become 0 with your answer. In our case, the answer is 2, so first we check this one, the first denominator. 2 times 2 minus 1 is 3, is not equal to 0. So that's okay. The other one, 2 plus 2 is 4, is also not equal to 0. So we say that our answer is valid. This is something you'll have to get used to, that there is a group of equations where you have to check your answer. If your answer is valid, you write down the answer is valid. If your answer is not valid, you write down not valid. Let's look at another example. Solve 2 plus x divided by 4x minus 1 is equal to 2. There are two options in which we can do that. Number 1. First we write down the first fraction as usual, and on the other side we write down 2 as a fraction of 2 divided by 1. Now we have fraction is equal to fraction, and we can use cross multiplication. 2 plus x times 1 is 2 times 4x minus 1. Obviously you don't need to write down times 1 because multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. So here we have 2 plus x, and on this side we have 8x minus 2, which gives us negative 7x is equal to minus 4, or x is negative 4 divided by negative 7, or 4/7. The other method is multiplying with the denominator 4x minus 1. On the one hand side you get 2 plus x multiplied by 4x minus 1, and that we divide by 4x minus 1, and that is equal to 2 times 4x minus 1. Again, 4x minus 1 is a factor in the denominator and the numerator of this fraction, so we can divide out, which gives us 2 plus x is equal to 8x minus 2, which is not very strangely the same as what we have here. So our solution is x is 4/7. Remember that we need to check this solution to make sure that the denominator doesn't become 0. Is equal to 1, 2/7 is not equal to 0. So our answer is valid.